Hello, everybody, and welcome to Games 3 and 4 of the World Riichi League Minors for October this year. I am looking forward to seeing how the rest of the other two games go today. We saw two games yesterday. We're going to see the other two today. And for the first game, I'm joined by Jen. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I tried to put in like a transition screen and it didn't work very well actually.
Yeah,
Um,
that I can help with that later.
uh,
Remind me either between today and tomorrow. There's a way to do that. It'll yeah. It's very simple, but a
yeah, it
few buttons
works
have to be
on
pressed.
I have it working on like my personal stream, but I just tried to put it in here and
Ah,
did it incorrectly apparently. So it
there.
transitioned before the transition screen came up, but I guess at least we got to see it.
Exactly so. And as you may have guessed, the person pressing buttons behind today, it's you, Jen.
Hello,
Always like to credit the
yes.
people doing the stream control stuff. It's very important.
I'm not a fan of doing the stream stuff because of this exactly, but
It's
what's
it's yeah, it's a pretty easy fix. But if you don't know how to do it, it's hard until you know how. If that makes any sense. Either way, though, I'm happy to get some mahjong.
hmm.
And
Hmm.
do we know who is playing for game three, or are we just gonna go right to it?
No, yeah, we're just gonna go right to it. Hold on, I guess I'm gonna turn off this transition though, so it doesn't look silly again.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's like there's like a point that you can say when the transitions. You've got to like choose a certain number of milliseconds in. It's one of these things you just have to figure out. I will go through it
Okay,
once the
sounds
stream is
good.
done.
Sounds good. All right. Like
But
that
yeah, let's get
is
right
the
to it.
game. That's the game. I can be heard, you can be heard. We are all audible. I always mess that up as well on the every week Garth and I do the JPML Select stream with old matches from JPML that have already aired on their YouTube.
I see,
And
I see.
I always mess up the sound somehow. There's
All
always
right.
one person who cannot be heard, and but not today.
So I do believe we have a repeat from the first game that we saw yesterday, Yishen Wu, who got, I believe, second place in
I think
game one. We got to see on stream.
yeah, Ishan Wu is actually on the second broadcast table as well, so we've seen him 3 times in a row now.
Okay, how did that actually end
So
in the
it's
end? Let's
like
have a
we're
little check.
following Ishenwu's story. The game didn't finish. Well, it finished, but like the time ran out yesterday. So
Having a quick little look through the stream, it looks like they were a second in both of the first two games, so they could be doing very, very well for themselves in this league. If you can be consistently second and everyone else gets first and fourths, I think you're going to rise above. But let's see how game three goes. It looks like G has a very strong start, but not necessarily all the value. Could go for all inside. We do have potential. I'm looking at Sancho Confusion, maybe 789, trying to make that happen. Chris here, I guess, has a choice between maybe going for a flush route, but probably keeping the 224 pin. The 9 pin probably can go pretty early. We'll see what ends up happening there, though. And we did just see Will pull in that 3 of characters, filling in the weaker 1-2 shape. Now we've only got strong shapes left over. This could be a very quick hand. And yeah, drawing all the
so
volatiles.
hmm, I I don't see. I thought that we had ZU last time as well in the majors that we broadcast, but I don't see them. So I guess it's just Ishen Wu was in um 14th place after the majors last time with plus 1.7. Or at the majors last time, I suppose, at the end of September.
Okay. Jishen here is technically, I believe, 2 away right now. but could be going for any other hands. Chris's hand has somehow turned into a weird 7 pairs hand almost. I was thinking maybe go for the half flush angle, but we paired up the 9 pin, and now I think that maybe 7 pairs is what we have to do here. Got a really nice pick. But okay, I say nice. It's not. It's a two-sided shape. The 3 and 8 to complete a sequence in that sort of extended Sozu Ryan-kan. We do finally fill in one of these. Wow, having an extra pair doesn't really help too much, but it lets us consolidate our shapes down a little bit.
So we call it a helper tile if you have a middle weight and then gut shot weight like that, and you pair up one of them. It's the helper tile for that shape because the shape isn't very strong alone.
Very fair. Interesting from Chris's perspective. I know we had that 7 pairs angle, but we also had the potential outside hand. We had that 1-2 available with the 9 shapes and the other shapes being around the 1, 2, 3. I might have considered keeping that 1 pin just in case we drew the 3 pin. Maybe I would have cut the west first, but either way, it's only a backfire if you draw the 3 pin, and clearly Chris knows that that's not going to happen.
We've seen a lot of players sort of do early cuts and favor safe tiles, I believe, at least from the second game yesterday.
I think that's honestly very fair. Yeah, no one wants to be the person to deal into a huge hand, especially in East 1.
We did see some backfires as well from those. Draw another helper tile, yeah. So.
And again, if we had that one hand, I suppose at that point we don't want to get rid of our pair of the 9s. I think that's the only pair in the hand there. But otherwise,
all right, this
another
is
pair here for Yishen.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
It's extra blocks unless he discards a 4 character. But keeping a 6 block
either way, it's still 1 away, right? With the chance of that pure double sequence, the 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8 of pins, I believe.
I think there was.
But we do have this hand already over with a relatively cheap red dragon only.
I think the 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8 wasn't quite complete. So it could be 1 away with all pairs. 8, 8. Yeah, it could be all pairs for 1 away, but I don't know, with that twin sequence, I really want to go for sequences.
I mean, that's fair.
Plus the weights, the weights he was left with by discarding the 9 are not that great for all pairs. So
yeah, and we had Dora 2 in that particular case as well. So definitely one of the situations when you went to go speed over value.
I mean, speed would the thing is with all pairs, you just can't tell if it's going to be speedy or not.
True. Yeah, I think it's just safe to assume it's not going to be sometimes.
Yeah, generally, and the shapes were pretty good for also an inside hand. So I was hoping if we could have seen more of the hand for maybe those wests to come out, but it was not to
Either
be.
way, it was a relatively small hand, and we can move on. I really want Yishen's hand to be an outside hand, but it doesn't have to be, right? Especially now we've paired up that 3 of darts. More than happy just to go for a very normal hand. The 9 being the Dora here for Chris's hand is quite interesting because obviously we've got that 9 just lying on its own, but we don't want to discard it just yet. This is a format where we do not have red 5s, so every Dora is going to be very important to grab.
It also means that outside hand is a lot more valuable without any red 5s.
Exactly, yeah.
And with an outside Dora.
Exactly. I think the 3-pin pair is probably going to put a stop to that just because speed is going to be more important, but we'll see what the next few draws are. All right. That is a nice side grade. If we're going to ignore the Itsu chance, but I think is probably fine at this point. Or we could hedge both. That also works. We've tripled up the 3 of bamboo, which is kind of not what we want to be seeing. We want to be trying to make those into sequences, not triplets, but I still think it's perfectly fine to cut that, exactly. cut the 1, keep the 3, 5 as potential sequence, but hopefully probably end up cutting the 5 at some point in the future too. Green here does not do it. And there we go. Pairing up that 5 is very, very nice. Unfortunately, this hand is looking towards a direction where we probably end up having to cut the Dora. Yeah, that's what we're going to see. I was wondering if we were going to cut maybe like the 5 of characters first, keep the Dora just to try and hedge for that Dora 2, or drawing at 8 or something like that, so we can actually use it either way. But just getting rid of it, getting it out of the way, very, very nice. If we didn't have... it's one of the situations where for Yishan's hand, would you consider cutting the 6 pin instead of the 9 pin there? Just to try and force the outside hand a little bit more. I know you've got that pair of 3 pins, and it's really hard to make the outside hand happen. But
I feel like it was a little bit late, based mostly on his discards, like discarding the 1 and the... I think
that's very fair.
I'm sorry, the 9s that he had already discarded. There's a 9
There's
character
like a world
as
where
well.
we draw the...
Yeah, when you go for an outside hand, like it's so hard to make all of the shapes that generally you really need to keep every shape that you can that's related to outside.
Yeah,
it's so
exactly.
easy to become 30-10.
By the way, she's still one away. And yeah, just because that 2-3 does not necessarily mean the 1 is coming. I actually see what location most of the ones are all being held right now. Okay, that will be Tempai for Chris. The weight is unfortunately a pair weight on the 5s. The 5 of Bamboo or the 5 of characters, but first Tempai probably worth reaching. We are going to see that stick go out. The main problem is that there aren't many upgrades there for Chris, so just reach, hopefully get Sumo, hopefully get Uradora. Nothing wrong with a good reach. This is going to be a pursuit reach though. That perfect draw, the 4 of characters. Gets G a pin through Tempai where you got 6-9 of dots.
And see, this is where one of the 9 dots, he already discarded. The 9 character also discarded at the beginning, so it's really hard to push the outside hand. I mean, with the reaches, you're going to fold anyway, but
yeah,
the
like
hand
if I was going to push the
so
outside hand,
if he had kept those 2 9s.
If I was going to push that outside hand, the 6 would have had to go very, very early. But now I can't ever play it. I think,
definitely,
unless someone else proves it's safe. We do see a 3's been played. Technically rules out the 4-5 shape, but unless your hand's really, really good, it's not worth taking that risk. So we're going to see some probably very good defense play from Chris here. Chris is the one to reach. No, take it back. Very good defense play from Yishen and Will. Especially now. In fact, Yishen could potentially go for a very late, very unlikely to win, but 7 pairs switch. That might be what I try and do, just to try and get to a Tempai that I might be able to get some points on, while also not having to take any risks and play any dangerous tiles at all.
Oh wow, look at that fill in after, of course, after Yishen folds. That's how it works.
Unfortunately, that is Mahjong sometimes. Yeah, Will's looking at this and, yeah, just not really getting that excited about it. Taking the safer discard. The 6 will be drawn, and it will be Pinfu Sumo Reach for G here. Do we see Uradora? I think we see 1. I think that's a 6 of characters, and we do have a 7 in our hand. So that's going to be a huge win for our dealer in East 1. Open with a very cheap 1,500 point win, and then follow it up with a much bigger hand.
Yeah,
I think we saw this in game 1.
Another East 1 that we're going to have.
So we go again once more. How long are we going to spend at East 1? Could be a very exciting, very long marathon of at East 1 here.
And the games are timed, So we don't have a timer on the screen. We go by when we see Dave, we start to see Dave lurking in the background to give the players their notifications.
I guess we could technically get a timer. Is that something that people would want? Do give us feedback. Like, do the liking, the commenting, the subscribing, all that lovely stuff. If you want to know, if you want the information available,
Yeah, I
I'm
think it
sure
would
if enough
be.
people ask Dave, it would happen.
I do think it would be helpful for us at least to have the time left until the final hand is called. This is your
Hmm.
final hand, or this is your final hand plus one. It wouldn't be fun to put final hand or final hand plus one on the screen, but and of course we will also be commentating live most of the time, so it will be possible. But if we have the timer until time is called, that would be useful, I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because we're always like, did they call time? Is that the time?
It's definitely always fun when it's the Japanese broadcasts, because sometimes you get to see the people come in and actually chat to everyone, and sometimes it's just a bit of a pause. You don't quite know why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They just yelled it from behind the screen, or or they actually came out and told them.
exactly. So looking at this hand right now, it looks like Will's got a very strong start. Yishan's got a very strong start. Chris has an awkward dependency on the 3 of darts right now, having the 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 shape. But if Chris manages to draw the 3-pin, there aren't many left to draw. One of them, is, of course, is in Chris's hand. It's going to be a very, very nice tempai, especially when we get that 3 of characters right here. 1 away. But it's 1 away where we might end up waiting on a really, really bad and unlikely win tile. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. This door here for Yishen actually now can be used with the 6 of character draw. Maybe even, unlikely, but we could try and angle that 5, 7, 7, 9 shape into a 6, 7, 8 for a mixture sequence.
Yeah, the
Never
challenge
know what the
there, of
next.
course, is that the 7 is the Dora indicator. So there's one being used already on the board. There's one here, and to use hand, to use hand, and then so
Yeah,
two
speaking
more,
of
but
Zhu's
it's
hand,
very
I
difficult to be discarded.
believe they drew their 4th pair just now. I'm not saying we had to go for 7 pairs, and the hand doesn't really look like it's going to force that, but if you draw a 5th pair, maybe you change your mind. Keep it flexible, keep the option of getting to that tempai, just in case.
There's another one, so that means there's only one 7 character left in the wall for Yishen.
Yeah, I definitely like keeping the 5, 7, 9 there for Will, because we do want to draw that 8. If we want to be able to use it, if we draw it. But it's not the end of the world. If we draw the 6, we still get to tempai, and it's still perfectly fine. The 2, I think, is an opportunity here to get out of this horrible weight on the 3-pin. Yeah, we're going to take it. Cut the 1 instead. Keep the 2 as a pair. And now have a 2, 5 red weight instead.
Yeah, the 1, 2, 2, 3,
Ideal
4
draw.
shape is just my least favorite in all of Mahjong.
True, but at least it means we can pawn the red. Or even draw it ourselves, right?
Well, now
So
that we got the other two,
there's a plus
especially.
side.
Yes, that's true.
Oh. Or we could. Oh. I think I just send it back.
The 4 bamboo discard
Could play
is
the 4 of bamboo.
quite good to lock in that open-ended.
It also masks
Oh,
the 3, 6
inside.
weight. Oh, we're going all inside. Okay.
Yes.
Very interesting. 1 away though for the Will now with that 3-pin draw. If they get the 6 of characters, they have all inside. If they get the 8 of characters, they have a Dora worth the same amount. Either way.
Yeah, if you just pawned the red dragon for Tempai, the hand would have been very cheap.
Yes.
Some extra shots for value, but it does like bring the Shanten back a couple.
Yeah, the ideal situation would be drawing it yourself and then reaching as well. But yeah, that's an ask, right? Especially when you get to the end of row 2, you've not seen any of the red dragons played. Very unlikely someone is going to play that. It's very possible someone else has a pair at this point.
Yeah.
If you've not seen any.
Yeah. So the biggest disadvantage is that it goes from 1 away to 2 away. More
This
efficient
is.
shape, but
I don't mind playing the two of bamboo here.
also
Okay,
lots
actually
and
going to cut.
open-ended. So. Oh,
Oh no!
worst backfire ever.
Would have been very nice to get the closed red dragon triplet and reach, but alas, this is mahjong. You make one decision,
Alas. The
the
one
worst thing that
thing
can
that could
happen
have
is
made
going to
that,
happen to you.
yeah, the one thing that could have made that red dragon hand actually worth a little bit of value happens.
Okay, speaking of all inside, we have a chance to swap things around a little bit, but
Yeah, and that is like talking about perfect draws. All right, goes most efficient route.
good chance we'll end up on that pin food with that two-sided weight, as you were saying. A potential upgrade for Chris though, with there's a bit of a bad tendency with the 2-4, sorry, yeah, 2-4-4-5, but the 2-3-4 mixture sequence is available. It's always fun to find an extra two-hand. But we are going to have to draw the 3 of bamboo to make that happen. Oh, that's not it. But yes, it would be a huge hand were we to draw the 3 of bamboo. We'd get pin food, we'd get all inside, we'd get the mixture sequence. Did we see at least 2 of them though, unfortunately? So not the widest acceptance, but Chris doesn't know that. That is still not Senpai. In fact, I almost want to send that back. Do I want to send that back? Could give up on the 2-3-4 Sanshoku. Cut the 2 of bamboo. Keep the 4-5 and its slightly higher acceptance at the cost of that, a bit of extra value. We are getting pretty late in the hand. It might be worth considering just calling for a ready hand at any point. And that's what we're going to see. Keeping as wide a one away as we can so we can actually just get into that Tenpai. Just being Tenpai is worth fighting for, though.
Yeah. At this point.
Speaking of, this 6 I think is better for us than the 9, but it's still not like great, unfortunately. One away for Yishen. And that's exactly what we were saying. So calling for Tenpai here from Chris. The weight is 2 pin, 5 pin, 4 bamboo. Not worth a lot of points, but this hand may be over very soon, so it's better to get that Tenpai payment. In fact, I think the Tenpai payment is going to be worth more than the hand will be worth if Chris wins it, but very good chance we're going to get to that Tenpai. Oh, or not. As the 4 of bamboo comes out.
So I'll just take the 1,000 point win. Plus 2 continuances. Not too shabby.
Yeah. Yeah, not enough to get out of last place, but every point is going to be a good one. I think at that point, it's hard to say no to the win, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Even though you could be like, if I stay at Tenpai but don't run, maybe I can get 3,000 points. Yeah, that's that.
When there's 2
That's probably not a.
continuances already, if you have a chance of getting 1,500 or 3,000 instead of 1,000, I feel like it makes a little bit more sense, but you only have possibly a chance of making 3,000 instead of 1,600, and if it's
Exactly.
1,500, then you're losing points, so.
That's a very good point, yeah. So we are now in East 2. Yishen is our new dealer. So look at Chris's hand. It's a very similar situation with the dependency on a 3, but Chris got out of that last time and managed to make a very, very nice, tidy little win. Could also just draw the 3 of bamboo and get out of that situation immediately.
Immediately.
Not this draw, though. Could consider even going for a half flush here. I'm not saying I'm going to force it, but I might consider maybe cutting the 8 of characters, keep the 4, maybe hedge a little bit just in case. Should we talk about the Dora 2, though, in G's hand? Because Dora 2 is always going to be good. I didn't actually look that far from tempo. I have to have a look here.
At door
But yeah,
2,
speaking
you're
of the...
almost always going to push. At
Yeah, we
least
do
at
see that
first.
from Chris hedging for that flush after the 6 of characters draw. So 6 of bamboo draw. And yeah, I almost want to just go all inside here, and just probably going to see a lot of the terminals ones get cleared away from G's hand, and we'll see how things develop. But I think all inside is the main goal. I would even be considering calling to make that happen a little bit faster. This is the moment Chris has to decide if they're going to go for the flush here, and they are. I respect it. I respect it. In the meantime, Will actually has a chance of a mixed triple sequence, 7-8-9. Could even go for an outside hand, fully outside hand. Jun-chan Sanshoku. A very fun series of Yaku to say.
Yes, always.
And very valuable if you can get it closed. 5 hand closed. 6 with reach. I would be keeping the north. I'd probably cut this down. Would I want to keep the... I think I actually would keep the six of dots just for a little bit in case we drew the Dora 5. Because at the end of the day, if we do lose the Jun-chan, but we get a Dora, it's not actually as bad of a loss. So always good to keep the option open.
Yeah, we love hedging. We love keeping options open.
Yeah. One thing I will say Chris has done very well is they've managed to master the hand of being a flush quite easily, quite well, actually. We've cut quite a lot of the honor tiles early. So if we do get to a nice quick tempai, I don't think people are going to necessarily have it down as a flush hand. Depending on how long it takes to get to tempai, obviously, that mask could be lifted quite quickly, but we've cut, I think, quite about 2 or 3 honor tiles in the first row. That doesn't normally say to me that they're going for a flush, if it were me playing at least.
Yeah, definitely you'll see most flushes you're gonna see honors come out later in the hands.
By the way, though, the Dora 2 hand from GE is approaching tempai. After making that call, I missed what the actual call was. I'm assuming it's going for the all-inside route, and that was a nice upgrade draw just then. Speaking of flushes, it is getting nice and close, though, from Chris. We're actually going to open for this outside hand. It's going to look a little bit obvious. But I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be the outside. It could just be the 7-9 mixable sequence. But after you've made a call of a 7-8-9 shape, that really limits the amount of things your hand could possibly have. Should be easy to work around. Or perhaps easy to think, oh, you've just got 1 or 2 hand. I don't need to worry about this.
True, and also sometimes it can, if you can disguise the weight, then you can definitely sneak a win in there.
Very true. But yeah, I think it is just going to be mixture sequence only, sadly, because of that 7 of bamboo pair. I don't see any way of really quickly, at least, getting those 2 7s out. Maybe if we actually, there is a way. Actually, we could draw the 9 pin, triple that up, and then have the pair of 9 pins and the 7-8-9 pin instead of the 7 pin pair. There's a route actually. I take it back. With that call, everyone's going to be hopefully thinking a little bit more that it might be a flush now, or at the very least, a hand that's full of bamboo tiles. Second door for Jishen. Kind of wants to speed the hand up, go for the all-inside route, but has the chance of drawing the 1 of pins there and getting a little bit scuppered. And yeah, that is going to be tempai for Will, but only for the mixture sequence only. We're not going for the outside hand as well. So 8 of bamboo does it. We see 2 of them right here, unfortunately. And I believe 1 was in the call as well from Chris here, so there's only 1 left to draw. You only need 1 though.
That's all you need.
Speaking of tempai, missed the 3-6 pin weight here for GE. Just going to do a bit of counting. So I think we see quite a lot of those 3s and 6s already either out or in other players' hands. Oh, that 8 deals in. This hand could be over. There it is. Just mixture sequence only. 79 nil 3 suits.
Yeah,
Not a huge value.
Move your hand. Yeah. Hello, Birdie in the chat. Welcome. We're happy to see
Hey.
you.
But yeah, Will has managed to shut down everyone else's hands, especially that flush. Actually, I should probably go back and check that again, because we had the 8-9-9 shape from Christopher's hand there. It might have been worth keeping the 8, I'm not sure. Definitely, though, I respect Chris being aggressive there, because we have that value, huge amount of value. So, not a huge risk, there's a little bit of risk, but a lot to win and not that much to lose. So it's worth gambling, playing that tile, trying to win the hand.
Yeah, it was definitely fine to push that. I think that there wasn't a good place for that 8 to fit into.
Yeah, I think 9 might have been the only pair. So tough situation. Was a pretty cheap deal, though.
Yeah.
Could always make it back.
I mean, and that's where you read. I think efficiency-wise, I guess you could have gone with the 4. It wasn't the only pair because it was one away, so the East could have been. The East was also a pair, but then if you use the East as a pair, it loses all the value. That was where the value was coming from, so tough call.
Yeah. So Yishin here has a decision to make about potentially going between Itsu and just a nice efficient hand. Perfectly fine to do that. I think that's the correct move here. Especially considering we had that chance of the pure double sequence, if we manage to turn those 2 pairs into 2 sequences. Would be more than happy to have 3 of characters be our final pair in this hand. A very nice one away, though. No matter which way we draw in, we have that chance of pure double sequence. If we get the Sosu sequence side, at least. If we triple one of them up, I think we have a much worse tempi, but I guess it's still tempi. Hard thing to say no to. Daypin does not help us at all here. I guess the 2 is definitely useful here. Keeping the 1-2 just in case we draw the 3 next time. A player might decide to cut the 1 early and get the 2-4-6 shape, but nothing wrong with keeping the 1-2 just in case we draw 3 as the very next draw. This is going to be a reach, though,
all right,
from Yishen.
3,
and
6
that's 3.
bamboo. Yeah, it is the magic tile.
It sure is. That's the one we want to draw as well, because that will give us the Pyodor sequence for an extra hand. Reach, Pinfu, all inside, and that chance of the Pyodor sequence could be a very valuable hand if we sumo flip Eridora. In the meantime, it looks like Will is probably going to be angling his hand towards a 7 pairs hand just because it's easy to defend. And hopefully means we can avoid dealing in on anything a little bit crazy. I believe Yishen's... Sorry, I believe... how close is Chris now? Only 3 pairs. I take it back. It's not as exciting as I thought it was. No, it was Will, who is currently at 5 pairs, 1 away from a 7 pairs hand, and has Dora 2. Has a choice. Could go for the all triplets angle. Would let Will pull pawn. The East is also Dora, so if you do get a chance to play that, to call that, you get Dora 3 and the East triplet. So with East being Dora, I think it's very good to hedge the triplet, keep the triplet, and hope we get the value from calling things.
Yeah, no need to even decide yet. Has a little bit of time. Except for that, with the reach, you have to
very true.
decide whether to keep going or not. But with 2 Dora, like I said before, you're going to push a lot of times.
Exactly so. So yeah, even Chris here with the 1 East is switching to 7 pairs, and now it's at 4. So even Chris could sneak ahead, but it's no! No one's sneaking ahead because we're actually going to see a sumo. Not
And
the
one,
pure recipient slide, but we do for Benora. Yes.
yes, Flipanera beats Tanya with sumo. Pinfu Ura. Just a cool 2000, 4000.
Exactly. As we move on to East 4, we're still in the East round. No one has jumped out ahead too much so far. Anyone can still make it back in one very strong hand, especially Will, our new dealer.
So Will has had an sort of uneventful first two games at the third place and a second place in games 1 and 2. We got the results.
Thank
The
you for the
results
update.
are up. I inquired and my inquiry was answered.
Yeah, that is the benefit I think of having Dave as one of our caster team.
No, not Dave, Anne.
Oh, well, we've met her. There we go.
Anne is always better than Dave.
I see. I just assumed that because of the caster team, it would have been easier. But no, I'm wrong. Fair enough.
Yes. No, and gets things done at Sparrow's Nest. Dave is awesome, but Dave is very busy. And Anne is the one to ask. We love Anne. Just in case all of you at home are wondering, you love Anne too.
Yeah, I don't know Anne that well, but I clearly should.
You love her. Yeah, you don't have to
Yes,
know her actually.
that's fair.
You know how they say like to know her is to love her? Like you don't even have to know Anne. She's just awesome.
All right. Exactly, Birdie. Exactly. Now you're getting it. You know what else I love, though? Apparently, I love 7 pairs today. Yishen has the pair of the Dora and another 3 of them. Probably going to be thinking about trying to think about what kind of weights might be a good 7 pairs weight, maybe. Also, the chance for going for all inside. Don't have to necessarily go for 7 pairs. If Korak were here, I'm sure he would be complaining about 7 pairs being a hand that he doesn't like.
And appearing so many times this game as well. Yes,
It really has, yeah.
Supersaki-san also love Anne. Yes. Much love for Anne in the chat. Well deserved.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Honestly, everyone who works behind the scenes to help make events and things run smoothly, they deserve so much more than they get, I'm sure. So yes, thank you to Anne, to all the organisers at Sparrow Nest, because they are the ones who provided us with the footage we're seeing today. And also the ones who have been sort of doing the camera work live at the scene. Always good to see. Oh, unfortunately, Shen gave up on the Red Dragon. I would have kept the Red Dragon. I would have made that hand. I probably would have committed to 7 pairs a bit earlier. And that's definitely a thing that can backfire for me, because obviously when you're keeping honor tiles and things like that, you're missing out on potential like other routes into other types of hands. But had we cut one of the threes here, the 3 pin or the 3 of characters, we would have had that Tempai.
Yeah,
The ideal situation, of course, is to wait on the Red
woulda, coulda,
Dragon.
shoulda.
Yeah. Kind of things you want to be looking for,
Uh,
obviously, once cut dragons and honors, because if they are once cut and no one calls it, there's a good chance that at that point in time, at least, no one had a pair. Which means that in theory, if no one has a pair, they're in the wall there to be drawn. And it could be you.
I like this move that Zhiyu just I keep saying Zhiyu. Zhiyu just made. And now
Yeah.
I forgot the tiles that the move was made with, but it was discarding the side weight, the penchant. Right
Very
here.
fair.
Yes, with the 5 dot tripled up.
Hmm.
I know.
Yeah, I do apologize in advance if I mispronounce any names. I am an uncultured British person. I'm sorry in advance.
I'm just going
I
off
do think
the
it's really interesting that
pinyin that
that
I
we'll cut
learned
the.
in Taiwan, so I could be wrong as well.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that we'll cut the 7-9 of characters over the. I believe was it 3 of bamboo? But there was a tile next to a triplet when we had other pairs in the hand. I have to say what it was when we get back around to it. But it's very interesting because we potentially lost out on the ability to be Tempai waiting on the 8 here. Only lasted one turn because we're now Tempai waiting on 7 and 9, which is much better because 7 is Adora. Do you see that they are all held? But where are the 9 pins?
We now have a lead from G. Not from G, sorry, from Wilsong.
Yes, waiting on the 7 and the 9 of darts. Right here.
Yes. The camera moved faster than I expected, so I said the wrong name.
I don't think we see any of the 9 dots yet, which does mean that there's going to be 2 left to draw. And with Chris getting closer and closer to...
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Is it actually Halloween today?
It is Halloween today, yes.
Oh, I missed Halloween? Oh, no.
Missed Halloween, and we don't have costumes or anything. We are so ill-prepared.
Dang, that's what I should have done. I should have gotten for a new image for commentary intros. Dang. Maybe tomorrow.
It's better late than never. It's still Halloween until Thanksgiving, I think. You can use American Thanksgiving as the threshold.
Yishen's still being a little bit aggressive, trying to get to a Tempai. 1 away. Chris also getting a nice draw there with that 5 of characters. Honestly, I think because we're reliant on the Dora and the 9, there's one of the 9s, unfortunately, but it's going to be used because it is Tempai. We're at the end of row 3. We wouldn't have a Yaku, I don't think, because I think we've had a call from Yishen. But you can take the Tempai if you're willing to play the 6 and just go for that Tempai payment. You don't have to play the 9. But it does come out, and it's going to deal in to this Reach Dora 2 hand. Do we flip Dora? We do not. Still, though, Reach Dora 2. Huge win for Will, as dealer, no less.
Should be 6,400.
See them calculating it, passing the sticks over.
I think they're making change. Right there. Wait, that was even more than I expected.
Did we factor in that the Will was dealer?
Oh no, that's 9,600. Yes, that's exactly why. Possibly.
Unless... Hang on, there's a pause.
We started to with 50 fu. Should have been 50 fu. Looks correct to me. Oh, maybe looks like the score on the score that we saw on the screen was correct, but maybe they did some change.
Maybe they counted it as 40.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to do, especially when you're on a TV table, you're playing live, you know. Thankfully, especially because they're on the TV table, they have a whole team of people checking the scores, keeping them honest. As we move on to East 4. Looks like a pretty decent start for Will, actually, honestly. Not that many completed shapes, but a lot of potential runs. The 1, 2, 3's done. Okay, there's an extra 2 lying around. We've got a few pairs we've got to clear up, but otherwise, it's a decent start. G's also got a very good start too. Potential Sand Shocky for Yishen, if I'm thinking real big. We've got 2 potential sequences and a... Wow. The Will's 1, 2, 2, 3 shape that I didn't even really like that much could now be a pure double sequence if we draw the 3 of bamboo.
So you
in the
can
meantime.
correct those scores because we have video evidence. If a mistake is made when there's no video running, then unfortunately there's no way really to fix it unless all players agree on what the hand was.
Yeah, I think that's one of the good things about Riichi Mahjong, though. Generally, because there's 4 people, and it's usually a pretty friendly game, right? If someone does make a mistake like that, you're not going to just be like, let someone claim the wrong points. Usually, at least from my experience, anyway. That's not something that we see very often. But all right, I do see
usually
the
the
believe
corrections made are like for one away, like I'm sorry for continuances like Ippomba, Nihonba. Like, oh, it was Ippomba. That's another 300.
Hmm.
If there's like if you miss counting a Dora, then it's usually hard to fix after the fact, unless it's a very friendly game. Tournaments and stuff, it can get pretty tricky.
that makes sense. Yeah. All right. It's an interesting situation for Chris here. We kind of want to get rid of pair. I'm going to choose to get rid of the 9 of bamboo because we want to go for the all inside if we can get it. But with Dora 2, just when we want to get to a fast tempi, it looks like she was going for the mixture sequence 789, but now we've drawn the Dora here. Don't have to make that happen. Just going for normal pace. Shen is technically 1 away, but could potentially keep the 5, 6, 7, 8 to try and find a better weight. Don't really want to rely on the 8-9 pin dependency. And in the worst case, we can wait on 5-8 for our pair. So I'm going to go with the 8 and the 9 pin. Very good. I like that a lot. Might see a similar situation here where Chris is also going for that all inside hand. Technically, the 6 doesn't help too much. So we might end up seeing it get cut pretty early. I guess the upgrade you could use for it is you keep the 3, 4, 5, 6, you can pair up the Dora, and then have the 4, 5, 6 left over as a sequence. There is a use for that 6, but it's also very close to that Dora. Could be something that deals in later on in the hand. Chris getting a nice upgrade there. The 7, 8, 9 complete. Leave Chris now 1 away. This is not a useful tile, unfortunately. Yeah, Yishen is also 1 away right now. Technically, this is kind of useful.
It definitely makes the hand more flexible, more efficient. But you might get stuck with a single weight and no pair.
Yes. That's very true. The 8 doesn't help us, though. 3, I guess, technically gives Will a 7 pairs route. If we do end up pairing something else up. But I don't think this hand wants to be 7 pairs. That 6 is very, very nice, though. Probably just want to cut the north to get the maximum possible acceptance for our 1 away here. No, we're cutting the... Interesting. That actually removes quite a lot of tiles to get us to Tempai. But I guess it is playing a more dangerous tile earlier rather than later. So it might be a good safety play. We do have a reach come out from G. And Yishen does still have that path to Tempai. Now safe. Just less tiles out there that do the job. Yeah, Will's unfortunately been struggling. That dependency on the 3 of bamboo has sort of hurt us a little bit. Yeah, G's weight is the 8 of characters only. There's one of them, unfortunately. We do see 2 of them right here in this hand. I don't think we're going to play it, not right now, but I could see maybe the 8 coming out if Yishen gets the Tempai. Speaking of Tempai, this is Tempai for Chris. We are going to see a Pursuit Reach. Interesting. Waiting on the 3 of bamboo.
And if it
which
kept the more technically efficient shape, it would have been a single way on the 2 of the 4 bamboo.
yeah, I do believe it's 2 tiles versus 2 tiles. I'll have to quickly check the 8 characters again, but
Yes, but
neither player here that likely
magic
to
3
draw then
bamboo.
their winner. There's still a path of will to get into Tempai. There's not much time left in this hand, but there's still definitely a path there. We'll still one away. Would be considering just calling to get into any position where I can win, even though I don't necessarily have a winning condition right now. That's a 7. That's a 6. Oh, that is not actually what we want to be seeing. It does give us kind of an option. We could cut the 1 pin. Yeah, exactly. Cut 1 pin, 1 pin. Go for the old inside route. That way we don't have to play any of those dangerous character tiles and still maybe get a chance to get into a position where we can win. Will, unfortunately, I think, probably just wants a way out of this hand without dealing in.
Yeah, that often becomes the goal.
Now we've seen the 5 get played. This could be cool by Yishen, but don't think we want to do that. We draw the 7, which is the perfect tile. We know the 1 pin is safe. We know the 5 barn is safe. There's a path into Tempai here for Yishen now without having to deal in or take any risks. And there's one of the 3 sets that deals in. But I think this actually might be Tempai for Will, in fact. Waiting on the 6 add, 6 of both pins and bamboo. If we can play the 4, the 1 passes the reach.
The other option is discarding the 5 and waiting for the 4 for an all pairs hand.
That also works too. I think just in general, bamboo is just very unsafe at this point, though, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen many discarded by anybody, let alone a middle one.
The thing is, he doesn't have to reach by discarding the 4 character because of the twin sequence, so he will discard and not reach. But it looks like he expected the 4 to be dangerous as well, the way he discarded.
Yeah, I do not blame them. But either way, you've got 3 players Tempai, 1 player 1 away, still trying to find a way into that so they don't end up losing at 3,000 points when this goes to a draw state. That doesn't get us there, though, for Yishen. Might be a very sad 3 players Tempai, 1 player no 10 situation for them. It's going to make the next hand very interesting, though, with 2 Riichi sticks on the table and, I believe, 2 repeat counters. Huge pot for who wins the next one. But it's going to be minus 3,000 for Yishen, plus 1,000 for everyone else. And East 4 repeat 2 is going to be very, very fun. So Will gets to dealership. Continue once more. I was going to see how their hand's building up to be, but instead, let's take a moment to look at everyone on the cameras.
We are more than halfway through the clock. About, I think, 25 minutes left or so.
Okay. So this is a flush, right? We're just going to... Actually, we don't have to go for a flush. We can go for Itsu as well. That's definitely possible.
Flush
I'd be cutting the 9 of bamboo straight away and maybe thinking about the 6 pin, but we'll see. I think that was the Manzu tile we drew as our first draw for Will.
A little bit of crazy camera work there, but definitely was a Manzu character tile.
So, Will has the build your own half flush at home starter kit. I will say Chris has draw a 3 though, so this isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. Chris is going to be pushing into this for sure. G, obviously, with the triplet of the dragons and the pair of souths in the south seat, has value. Everyone has at least a little bit of value here. There's definitely things to fight for, especially with the 2,600 points in the pot.
I'd even call it the Fisher Price starter kit. Fisher Price is the brand that is always the one it's the little kid's intro to things, right? You have the Fisher Price tool
Mhm.
set, and so if the flush is that easy, I think okay. Tempai.
Speaking of, Will's already tempo waiting on that 3. Yeah. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think even I had a Fisher Price. I think it was a cassette player back when we had cassette tapes.
Did it have a little microphone on it?
It did.
Yes. It's
uh
it's a Fisher Price karaoke set, basically.
yeah.
I don't think it was
I,
called
I
that, but
remember
that's
using it when I was
exactly what
really
it
young.
was. Yes.
Yeah. The microphone was so low quality, but it worked.
It was low quality, but it worked. And yeah, I remember my neighbor would come over to my house like every day, and he definitely sang the bare necessities from the Disney's The Jungle Book
Oh,
on a
that's
tape that
incredible.
we recorded with that little Fisher Price karaoke set.
I love that. That's great.
Yes, yes.
So while we've been chatting, we have she's already tempai. Obviously, Will's been got that Will's been Dharma and set a Suji trap on the 3 of characters by cutting the 6 as their first Mansi discard. I think their discards do look very flush-like. Unfortunately, the very first Mansi discard is the only Mansi discard so far, and it was at the end of row 1. But maybe someone could be convinced to play that 3. It would be a huge deal, and if true, there's a 3 and it comes out. Oh no! So, Itsu, half flush, closed with the red dragon triplet. Will is taking names and claiming those 2,600 points in the pot. Oh, Chris, I'm so sorry. Honestly, that hand was so, so I'm not going to say free, but it came pretty much complete, and the Suji trap appeared that early. I do not
Yeah.
blame Chris for dealing in at all.
Yeah, you can't that's kind of the only choice there is there. I'm not sure what else you could have done.
Yeah, exactly. Very crazy hand indeed. Indeed. So we go again. East 4, repeat counter 3. So going to get 900 points if it wins this one. Could be very important. It looks like everyone has a pretty middling hand. Yishen could definitely make something out of this with the dragon pair, but not a lot of value just screaming out. No one's got a half flush that's already one away from draw 1. And yeah, Yishen's going to be calling the white dragon. Just wants to claim those 900 points and honestly turn a pretty bad hand into, hey, at least no one else can win. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, especially when you have someone on 3 dealer repeats. Sometimes just for gimmick, just for you mentally to make sure that they don't win any more points. Sometimes. In the meantime, though, I suppose I was going to say Baby Will could go for a mixture sequence, but I think that was just a little bit too far, and we did cut the 9 of characters for that reason. Yishen still, even after that call, has so many Onitals to clean up. In an ideal world, we just pair up one of them and we're fine, but if that pair up doesn't happen.
Oh, going for a 678 Sanshok, it looks like in Will's hand.
Yeah, definitely worth going for. Not gonna lie, those 2 Manzi tiles escaped me at the first glance. But after making, oh my, well, okay. After completing the 6 and 8 shape and then drawing the 7 of darts, this mixture sequence definitely could be another huge hand for Will. East 4. This is definitely Will's moment here. Would I be surprised the next draw was the... Okay, I was about to say, would I be surprised the next draw was the 7 of characters? Wrong player. Very good draw for Chris as well. Oh, wow. This is Tempai for Will. And technically draws the side that gives them the Pinfu. So Riichi Pinfu, I believe, all inside. If we get the 6.
No
We've got a
reach
9,
yet, though.
obviously. Oh, true. You don't need to reach that, honestly. It's a pretty nice Dharma, all things considered.
I think maybe waiting on the Dora, he's hoping
Hmm.
that someone will just have an extra Dora sitting around that they
That's
end up
true. No one is
discarding.
playing the
Yeah.
no one's playing the door if you reach, but if they have a good enough hand and they do draw that in, I could see someone deciding, you know what, that's worth playing. Obviously, not in this situation. G's hand is good enough and can use it, so we're going to keep that Dora in our hand. But yeah, definitely worth the Dharma there because it is Dora. I think that's perfectly fine. But the 9 comes out and it will not be Rond. Interesting. Did I miss it? It's not Pinfu? Or is Will going for the Dora here?
I think
It
just
definitely is Pinfu.
the
We just
hand
passed
gets
her on.
so much more value with the 6 that he took that gamble. Wait.
Do we see another 9 come out?
Yeah, it
Think,
did.
oh, right. Yeah, we did.
It
So it was a
did.
reach 9. And once the reach comes out, that's when you're like, okay, I have to shut this down.
Luckily,
you
he
can, you
had
can.
just taken his turn, so because I think 2 9s came out in a
It was the same
row.
player, yeah.
No, I mean, I think 2 from different
Oh,
players came out in a row, so it was Furi 10.
I see.
And
That would also
then he
explain
had
why you
his
would take it the
turn
second
and it
time.
came out again right away. I
Hmm.
think that's what happened. That's how I saw it. But I sometimes my eyes play tricks on me.
But it's definitely was an interesting situation because obviously we had reach, we would have gotten more points, but going for that 6, I think, yeah. Something I don't think about enough, I think. I need to be taking notes from Will's gameplay, I think.
It's risky. It's risky and
Hmm.
you don't always want to do it.
I think the other benefit is that Will is currently in first place, right? So if you need to fold and the hand just doesn't quite go the way you want it to, you can just do that if you want.
Yeah, it's 3
It's,
extra Han with the Sanshoku and the inside. Oh no, 4 extra Han, right? Sanshoku
yes,
inside hand and Dora. So that's a
yes.
massive difference. It does make sense to let the first one go, and like you say,
Hmm.
snatch it up when the reach comes out.
Either way, though, we now have 4 repeat counters, so 1,200 points to whoever wins this one. Chris has a very strong start. Bit of shout to clear away, but whatever we draw is going to be very useful at that point, no matter what. So I have no complaints. Yishen's got a decent start, but it's not quite as strong. This is going to be a 1 away for Chris. Very, very nice if we draw the 2 of bamboo. Less nice if we draw the anything around the 258 of characters there. But we don't complain about whatever shapes we get at this point. Okay, we got the 258 side, which means we could reach on the 2 of bamboo, or we could hold out for both all inside and Pinfu. The Dharma is going to be here. No Yaku. It's definitely an interesting situation there, choosing to not reach that. I think it's probably the Eevee move to just go all in, but we do get 2 hand of upgrades on the 4 of bamboo draw. Could also completely shift things around. No, that's to the one of dots there.
I think we're coming to about 15 minutes or so on the timer. Somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes.
Imagine if this game doesn't go to the south round. Imagine if we're just here forever.
I mean, the way things are going, yeah.
Either way, this is going to be 1 away. No, it's still 2 away for Yishen. It's a slightly nicer 2 away. Choosing to give it up to mask our weight. I get that. I get that. We lose a bit of efficiency though. Right, meanwhile, Will is just continuing to keep up the offense here. We passed on the 7799. We're going to pass on the 677. This gives us all inside. Is this where we choose to reach?
I like not reaching here.
Yeah. Well, this is Chris, though, right? Chris is in last place. Needs a lot of
Sure.
points.
That is true, and with time running out, it's unlikely he'll get another dealership.
So we do have Reach and Tanya all inside. So it's not huge, but I respect it.
And I think without a time limit, you can argue not reaching more because you'll definitely have a alternate dealer.
I think that's very fair, yeah. But the way things are going, if we've only got 15 minutes left, we're probably not getting to South 3. That 4 is going to be a tile that deals in, but it's too useful. Yishen does get another step closer to Tenpai. Oh, that's unfortunate. But I still think the Reach was right there. In this situation with the scores the way they are. Could have added Pinfu, but Pinfu's not enough to delay Reach, in my opinion. If it's like Pinfu and Sandshocker or something, then obviously we can change our mind about that. This is a really good draw for G, but the Reach on the table might cause them to fold. Then I don't think it's safe to reach anyway. Oh, no, wrong player. But being in second place, obviously you want to go for first. The score matters, I think, usually more than the rank bonus. It's like 10,000 per rank. So it's nice to get an extra rank, but just score 12,000 points and you'll get more, right?
Yeah, the UMA is not that big, yeah.
Meanwhile, Will does get a nice upgrade, but still is 2 away. Could definitely see Will sneaking into Tenpai by the end of this hand, but not sure if that's going to happen. This is going to be a Reach, though, from Yishen. So, they are not in the South Seat, so I believe it's just Reach only, but given that they are in a position where they want to get a few more points, definitely worth going for it, I think. The EV move, you might say. 5-8 pin is the weight, and the 8 is safe to the Reach, so we could, but safe to Chris's Reach. So we could see it come out, and it does! Yishen's going to get the points here. And we did not flip Aradora, so it is not going to be too valuable. But with the Riichi stick on the table from Chris and the 4 repeat counters, it's going to be a pretty decent pot, I think. As we move on finally to the South round.
Dora.
Oh, Southwest Dora, I missed that. Okay, in that case, that's worth a lot of points. My apologies. I completely missed that you should have.
Yeah,
Oh, goodness me.
that was a manga on hand. And with all the continuances and the extra, it's just over 10,000 positive.
Yeah, Dora 3 changes everything. My oh no.
It's all good, it's all good.
But all right.
Who would expect South to be Dora?
That's true, right? Yeah. Salsa, boring wind usually.
South
no, isn't.
Today
was exciting.
South is always the safe tile.
Oh, this is very exciting for G though. Potential 4-5-6 mixture sequence. Definitely a Pinfu viable. Potentially all inside as well. A lot of things to be aimed for. That 5 doesn't really help us, but it's kind of nice, I guess. Maybe we can draw the 3-4-5 and get some 3-6 weight going at the very end of this hand. Is possible. Unlikely, but possible. Nice draw for Chris, filling in that 7-8-9.
We did make it to the South round, but I think just about 10 more minutes left on the clock, so we're running out of time for sure. Of course, Zhi does not want the dealership to move for the rest of the game. All the other players
Yishen's also 1 away right now.
Quite quickly.
Yeah, GG is. I think we see 2 players 1 away right now. So this really is just going to be a race to Tenpai. I think no one is really going to be playing defensively at this point, I think. Okay, maybe Will. Maybe Will's playing defensively. But apart from that, I missed that. G's got the 5-5-6. I read it as 4-5-6 for a second there. So 2 away for our dealer, 1 away for Yishen. Chris still got a long way to go, unfortunately. And doesn't really even have that much value to sort of wiggle in. Now I can say she's 1 away. for the all-inside hand. We don't have pin through anymore, but we do have that all-inside. And as dealer, all-inside reach is going to be more than good enough. That is a useful draw for Chris, but still, I think 2 away. No, we really want to wait for it now, but Chris has 2 very, very awkward waits to try and fill in before we can get a win for them as well. Chris Crowley can't be sort of... can't really complain about whatever tempo they get, though. And that's another upgrade. Potentially gives us the pin through if we draw the 5 of characters. At the very least, it's much better weight for that next step to Tempai. Got a swappy doppy the 5 to try and make it look like we've got some more Pinzu that we need to wait on.
So happy duppy.
Also really like what Chris did there. Going to maximum value, we've enabled Pinfu, we've potentially got the pivotal sequence, keeping the slightly less efficient, slightly less tiles, the 3, 3, 4, 4, 5 pin shape over the 4, 6 in characters. But, as I say, Pinfu, the potential pivotal sequence, Chris needs all that value. And if we draw 5 pin, it'd be very exciting. 8 bamboo is also pretty good. So, 2 5s is the weight for Chris versus Tempai. 5 is the better side. Unfortunately, we see most of those 5s already either played or held. But I don't think Chris is going to complain as long as they get the win here. I could see a disaster for Will, but I don't think Will's going to be the one to deal in here. I think Will's going to be playing very, very safely. Similar kind of situation for G here. Obviously, they can go into Tempai, they run away themselves, they can try and still win. But the 2 does come, we do not get the pivotal sequence, but it's still Riichi Riichi, and the 2 is the Dora. So with that error flip, we get a little extra value. Chris needs those points. It's not going to be enough to get Chris in the running for any positional gain, but every point at this point is going to be really good. And maybe
this is
the
a league.
first step.
And it's not shabby, man.
Exactly. And you know what? If you can turn this into 2 or 3 wins on the bounce real quick before the game time runs out, you might even be able to get into 2nd place. It's doable.
Time is running out. I think about maybe 5 minutes left or so.
So 2, maybe 3 more
fathomable
hands.
That we get to, Chris's dealership, actually. We possibly could.
So I'm going to wish Chris luck.
Oh.
Just because I like to see people come up.
This is the time? This is the time. Sorry. Oh, wait. Oh, no, the door indicator was messed up. So they're just going to re-deal.
Okay. So that's a question, actually. Is that factored into the time limit? If a judge has to come in, do we have stoppage time?
I'm not sure if this would constitute stoppage time. Generally, you get some lost time if you have to wait for the dealer to come over. Like if they're preoccupied with a different call, and you have to wait for them. You have to actually stop play to wait for them. Just a redeal generally does not give you extra time on the clock. But, every venue is different.
So this is great news for Will, then. Having the last few minutes tick away with that lead going on.
Yeah, it could possibly be. It did look like there's possibly a time call as well, but we can't confirm that.
Okay, so this may be the last hand. If it is, it's very exciting for Yishen with Dora 3. And, actually, the hand's looking pretty almost complete, right?
To me, it looked
shape is done.
To me, it looked like Chris was sort of trying to confirm whether there was this hand and one more, or I'm not sure if that's what he was trying to do. But if I were to read that sign language that was not actually sign language, that would be my interpretation.
Very fair. But yeah, this is potentially an upset hand, though, right? With Yishen being dealer and having Dora 3. Dealer Mangan at very minimum. Maybe a bit more if we get a bit lucky. Hands already 2 away from ready as well. Chris is going to be looking for those Dora with lots of shapes that can accept it. Unfortunately, we see where 3 of them are, so it's probably not likely to come in this time around. Oh, 1 away for Yishen already with this huge monster hand. Keeping the white dragon for a safe tile when we get to Tempai, or if someone else reaches quicker than they can.
I also have a different, interesting ruling question for you and Korak after this game when we're in the transition phase.
Interesting. I'll look forward to it.
Yeah, it will be the dealer when we're switching, not dealer, commentators. Sorry.
Okay. Either way, that is Tempai for Yishen. I think you just have to reach. Right, you've got Dora 3. Just throw that stick in. The odds of the one of characters coming out pretty early is decently high, I think. Maybe not the other side of that pair weight, unfortunately, but
Yes, this is a recorded game. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, we will have the new games for the November WRL Minors, but this one we are unable to stream live, so this is game 3 of the recorded games, and we'll have 1 more after this.
And Yishen gets the win with the one of characters. Yeah, I was broadcasting a different
And
match.
that's 2.
Or 2, 2.
Whoa, that's
Oh
5
my.
Dora. And
Yeah, I had the privilege of broadcasting for
wait,
All Island Mahjong.
wait a second.
That was the fun. That's what I was doing when this was live and the players were playing this.
Wait. That was Reach Dora 5. Was that not Reach?
It was Reach, yes.
But I only saw
Did we
one black
miscalculate?
stick.
Did the team miscalculate? Oh no.
Not sure. It should have been. I wonder if they only had 1 black stick, so they had to loan out 10,000. Because as dealer, yeah, Reach and Dora 5 should be 18,000. I only saw 10,000 moved, but the scores
Are the
look
scores
correct.
on the display correct? Okay.
Yeah, they do look correct on the display, so I just saw the wrong stick apparently, which is fine.
So I assume that by the way the time is working, this is probably the last hand, I assume? I could be wrong.
Yeah, this is the last one, or possibly 1 more.
Okay, so the black stick spares that's already worth 10k.
Yeah,
Okay,
only
maybe
worth
that's
10k, but so there should have been 2 blacks.
Oh, I
or
see.
a red stick and a black. You know, it should have been 1 black stick plus another 8,000. But the display looks correct, so I imagine there was another 8,000 move that we just didn't see, which is fine. We just didn't have the angle to view that.
All right. So this, I believe, is the last hand. We do actually have an interesting situation where now we have a new person in first place. So Will's got to win some points here to get that 10,000 point rank bonus. G's also building a very fast hand. I don't think it's going to be enough to overtake anyone, unless I'm missing something. You can always get more value with Reach and Sumo and Eridora, of course. And certainly a direct hit would do the job. But Will needs to get 1,000 points just to confirm their first place here.
The thing is,
Seal it back.
If G wins directly, oh, it's 2 black sticks. Okay, I don't know. It looked like 1 to me for some reason. I mean, I need my eyes checked, which is fair. I definitely am getting old eyes. If Sobjugi wins a Haneman directly from Ishen, that's still not enough to overtake Will.
True.
So,
but it would still be a position, right?
Oh, definitely a position. Usually we calculate conditions for first place, but in a league you definitely don't have to get first place every time. That would be more of a tournament situation. So a league like this, when you have an ongoing total, over a long
Yes.
period of time, then definitely just a positive score even is worth it. And to get in the positive, I'm sure you would need Bongon from anyone just to get +5, I think. So 3,000. I'm sorry, 4,000 or more would be, no, 3,200 or more would be a positive score. Although
Hmm.
very small.
It's a really interesting situation with Yishin here. I think the best. I mean, the thing I want to discard. I know it's less efficient, but I want to discard the 6 of bamboo just to really try and force that Itsu. But yeah, going for efficiency, keeping the better floater, that extra 6, and potentially a pair if things go a bit awry. We do see a reach from Chris. Hand's not that great, but at the end of the day, you got to take what you get, and even if you just win 1,000 points, it's still better than still better than losing. Every point is going to matter, as you say. It is a league. The reach may cause other people to back off here, but this is an interesting situation where if Will is not Senpai and Yishin is, we could see the first place player decided by Tempo payments, or vice versa, of course. And that 5 is the reason why we kept the 6 of bamboo. 8's a little bit scary, but it does pass. It's the 3 that deals in today. And yeah, Will's just trying to get any hand.
Yeah, no.
Choosing to, I think, to go for the boot. We'll have. I know Will had Yakuhai. I can't remember what the other call was. Don't think the flush is doable, right? But either way, 1 away for White Dragon, maybe something else. Either way, enough for first place. The 6 passes, which now means the 3 is Suji. We've ruled out the 5-6 potential weight. Sorry, the 4-5 potential weight. Certainly not the 2-4, which is what we actually see today. And Will has decisions to make. This is the stressful moments in Mahjong, where you have a very close score gap, and you know that if you do something silly, you lose that first place position. I just wish I could see what Will drew. Okay, we managed to get to tempo waiting on the 2 of characters. So both the 2 and the 3 are dangerous. Interesting we chose to wait on the door. I think the main reason is we didn't want to play the door ourselves. So, yeah. Will saying, if I can't win on the door, no one can.
Which is,
Yishin here with...
fair. If I'm going down, you're going down with me.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, Will being Tenpai means that if Yishin isn't Tenpai, and this is the last hand, even if the 2 never comes out, even if you never see that 2 again, you'll get first place based on Tenpai payments, which is perfectly fine. This 3 deals in, though, unfortunately for Yishin. So it's a really tough decision. It is Suji. The 6 did pass this reach, so I would not blame Yishin for playing the 3 and dealing in here to Chris. It would mean that Will gets first place, though. So maybe Yishin wants to play just completely 100% safe.
I mean,
and not take any risks.
The doorway is also Tempai.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Either way, the 3 does deal in, which means that Will's going to be our winner, assuming that this is the last hand and time ran out.
Yeah, the thing is, like, they're both Tempai with no Yaku, so he was in a position where he had to reach, but...
Yeah. And Chris did flip an Eridor too, so it's a little bit more.
It looks like
nice
that
little
was,
bonus.
Yeah, the last game, so Chris got a little bit back. The last hand, sorry, of the game. A little bit back, and that will do it for this Hanshan.
Yeah, well played to Chris. Honestly, the deal-ins, I think Chris had one deal-in which was really early and really... Honestly, there was no way to predict that the Itsu was going to deal in there for such a huge... was half flush Itsu Red Dragon, and it was Suji trapped, and it was like the end of row 1. There's no way to predict that. So Chris had a bit of an unfortunate, real bad luck situation there, unfortunately. But everyone played so well. That was really fun to watch.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch. Um, and it
And I
is
do
it is
believe we'll be
interesting. We do
having.
see different strategies than we see in the Sunkeichi Moon Cup. But there's different slightly different rules, so it is fun to see that variety.
Yes, exactly. And we will have one more game for you today. I believe we'll be streaming the World Riichi League tomorrow as well, right?
Yes, tomorrow, from the morning, Eastern
That will be
time.
live.
Yes, so I think it's gonna start off with you and tips, and then I will come in once I'm back from my own league games. Um,
Ah, yes, I've heard you've got a game. I hope it goes well. I hope
yeah,
hope you have a great session.
I have
You
one
can
game
bring
from
good news.
the North Kanto League. We got it was a 5-player table, so they had the train times. They had to leave, so usually we play this in Gunma, which is a 6-hour round trip for me, but one of the players is coming to Tokyo for his normal Pro League matches, and the other 3 of us are in the Kanto area, like the Chiba Tokyo area. So we're just going to meet up after his league matches just for one game to make up the last game we need for North Kanto. And then I have my own normal league games on Monday, but Korak is here. We had an interesting situation in JPML this week. So what do you do when a player, it's all last, um, and there's a continuance, so it's all last in the dealer, maybe let's say it ends in Tenpai in all last, so there's going to be another hand after that. Um, and one of the players says, I'm sorry, I cannot sit anymore. I need to go to the doctor. And this is a league match, not a daily tournament. So what is the ruling for that? What do you think? And the player is actually taken to the hospital in an ambulance.
Oh goodness! Well, if it was me hosting my league, I would be incredibly lenient, especially if I like saw them get carted off in an ambulance. But I don't know. I feel it's JBL really really strict when it comes to that kind of stuff.
No, medical
How-
emergencies are allowed. So the question
Okay.
is, do you just leave the scores? You say the game is over and everyone's score is as
Oh,
is, or do you come back to the game later, or do you have a sub sit in just for that player for the last? It's just one hand, and say the player gets the points that they had when they left, but then
I mean I like the sub rule personally, but I don't know actually. Uh, hmm. I guess this. I guess one really complicated way of doing it would be to give like a fraction of the ranking points to everyone. Actually, that doesn't quite work because like I was trying to think like if it has say if you play 7/8 of the game, you could give 7/8 of the ranking points after all overall for the players. But that's hardly fair too. I don't know actually.
what do you think,
If
Korak?
I had to
Welcome,
take
Korak.
a guess, hey everyone, if I had to take a guess, if you can reschedule it, you reschedule it.
That
If
was,
you can't, then you're going to have to use a sub. I don't think it's fair to the other players at the table to just end it there.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
actually happened in A1 in a broadcast match 2 days ago. Katsumata, one of our favorite players, my favorite players at least, mentioned in my book as well, and has come to teach us before in the past and been on pros. He had appendicitis, and he went for appendectomy by ambulance to the hospital. But
I was going to
my
say the
thought
next important
is
question is: are
that
they okay?
yes, 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 he's okay. He had a successful surgery, but I think that he played too long. I think maybe we need to give a little bit more leniency so that he didn't feel like because it's a broadcast match, I just have to push through this. It
Hmm.
was a 5-person table, so they definitely could have made accommodations, I think. Uh, he must have been
The other thing
resting
is
during his game off. But
Was the surgery scheduled, and was there like a deadline?
the surgery is not scheduled. It's an emergency surgery. It's
Okay.
yeah, when you have appendicitis, it's definitely an emergency, and generally you don't know. You feel like it feels like a cramp at
Hmm,
first, and then gets
I
worse
see.
and worse. And I think that he was trying to get through the game, but then when the dealer continued as dealer for another hand, he's like, "That's it. I just cannot anymore." Because
Very
if the
reasonable.
dealer had not been Tempai, then they would have finished that game. So it's a suspended game, so they will get together to play one hand. I mean, possibly more if there's continuances, but put the scores all back as they were and get together to play one hand after he recovers. So kind of crazy situation, especially on a streamed table. You don't see that like basically ever. We do see them take a break
Mm.
once in a while during a stream table, but that was definitely a first for me.
Yeah, I do like the idea of continuing it another time. It depends on like how easy it is to
Yeah,
meet
logistically, you
up.
have people from
Yeah,
all over Japan at the table. That's just not going to happen. But if
exactly.
everyone's in
Yeah.
the Tokyo area, then okay, maybe pick it up next weekend.
Yeah, and they're all A1 leaguers, so we're talking, a huge commitment. All A1 leaguers are pretty much based into. I mean, maybe one is not, but not that big of a deal to come back since they're going to have other games as well in the rest of the
Hmm.
season. So, all right. So I thought that was interesting, sort of news update as well, JPML news update. But
Yeah, absolutely. So I wish you the spookiest game of Mahjong.
yes, happy Halloween, Korak.
Hello, happy Halloween.
Do you do anything? Did you dress up today for anything?
No, we don't have anything fancy going on here, and uh, probably don't have any trick or treaters where I am. So just another day.
Yeah, same here. My mom is in town, so we did a little bit of tourist stuff. Usually we go trick or treating on the weekend, but this year it was actually on a weekday, so we didn't end up going. We can go on the military base to go trick or treating
Uh,
sometimes, which
it's
is
also it's
fun.
Friday today, so it's not that logistically difficult for something to happen. So I imagine there will be a bunch of kids out, but I'm just not in an area that has a bunch.
Right, right. All right. Well, we have one more game for this series, and then we will be all caught up with our World Reach League games. Yeah, Birdie Katsumata he said he's recovering. He had a successful surgery and recovering and should be out of the hospital within a week or so. They keep you in the hospital for quite a long time in Japan. I think in America you'd be home the next day, even after an appendectomy. But here is our
All right, well, looks
game.
like the game's starting up. I also note there is a sub at the table because I don't think that's Sophie's first name. I think Sophie is Sophie's first name.
Also, we love Sophie. Sophie is very scrappy and also gets things done. A lot like Anne in that aspect. They are both always taking care of me when I'm in New York for Comic Con.
All right, well, we look at this hand, 6-pin Onko, decent shapes. Oh, we already see a call that is the South. So we have a Yakuhai call. Didn't like there's too much else in his hand. Oh, speaking of other things, Chun Onko. Wrist shape's not great. Let's say ultimately a bunch of mediocre hands. None that are just super strong, none of them are bad. 7 fits in nice. I can call the East. We see a loose East that may come out fairly soon. 9 catches the 7, moves the hand forward, but there's no value. Oh, interesting. Cutting the 6 there. I think I would always be cutting the 9. If we're going to break the 6 pair, we want the flexibility that an extra 6 would have.
I mean, we have both the 6 and the 9. Then it's a lot easier to keep the 6. If you have to decide between another tile, then you might keep one 6 and one other middle tile, but
All right. Well, the 4. Okay, there's your connection. Now it's a Penchan. 2-pin. There's a floater with a 4, but that's, or a hand already has too many pairs that goes into the pile. 3, interesting, keeps the floater here. Oh, Dora draw, so that may be plan B. 2 mon doesn't really do anything. Still holding it at this tune, though. 2 connects to the 4, advance the hand, 2, 3, 4, Sanchoku now an option. Eight pin. Well, that doesn't do much, but you can cut the 7 so and move the handle.
Past 4 games, really wanting to keep a safe tile and doing early cuts, the Sakigiri sort of plays.
Well, my view on Sakigiri is you just don't. Oh, well, that just went by. Should just be the 3/6 weight, and there is the Riichi. It is Riichi no Mi 3 so 6 so. My view on Sakigiri is it's just not important early. You get towards second row when you start expecting people to be tempai, that's when you might consider holding a safe tile. There's also been a lot of efficiency hits people have taken, and as a result, a bunch of lost points from a little too much defense at some of these games.
Yeah, I think there's
Oh.
been a lot of early defense that definitely we could deal with a little bit more efficiency.
Well, I have an Ishunten here with the Chun. Needs a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or an 8 like that, but can't call that one. It does deal in here to the Shumpon. Should just be 1 Han.
So I think we definitely want to, when we're playing, sort of have an eye on other players' hands and see how fast they are. When you're starting to keep those safe tiles, it's when you're reading that the other players' hands are much faster than yours. But usually, sometimes people do it for a sort of camouflage to sort of hide their weight, and a lot of times that just doesn't work. The payoff is just not as good as the... I think
This looks like someone may not have 13, and they're checking and making sure. There, it is on dealer to make sure that everyone is ready to go. And I know we're looking at Richard.
14, though. Yeah, we're looking at Richard.
Which means that the first discard had already happened. So if there were some sort of issue with the wall, it is an instant jumbo.
Yeah, but the wall looks fine. Richard had enough tiles, so not exactly sure what happened. Ji had already discarded the north, and the top tsumo, bottom tsumos of the wall look all correct, so...
Okay, then they're just checking some things, making sure, getting communication in, that's fine. We see the Chi of the 2, 3, 4, going for 2, 3, 4 Sanchoku, maybe the Haku as well.
Since we didn't see the first discard, it may have been a camera issue as well.
That is always possible. 1 pin, possibly Peiko. Ooh, throws the 3. That is a very interesting discard and moves away from Chitoitsu. Six. Well, 6 doesn't do much by itself, but you can use up the 3 later. Maybe camouflage that in some way. I see a second call here. That is the Haku. And it's not Tempai. Still looking for a head. There's another Chi. This is 3 call for Haku Nomi right now. Means you cannot get the 2, 3, 4 Sanchoku. So it'll always be 1 Han. Perfect draw with a 3 pin. Ishunten for Itsu. Nine pin isn't it, though. Hatsu doesn't help. 9 pin doesn't help there either. 3 Mon. So this would have been Tempai on the Chitoitsu, but that was broken earlier, and now we complete one of the runs. This is now 4 Mon Donkey. Speaking of Chitoitsu, we have 5 pairs. Breaks the north. And the classic, I see at least 2 tiles from the 2 Chitoi pairs in the bond. And there's a Riichi Pinfu, 360. Is that Dora 2? Yeah, that was Dora 2 as well, so lots of value. And this is the problem with the 3 call. This is why you're warned
Yes.
not to do this. Is this could happen, especially when you still have that floater Tonki. Was looking for any sort of upgrade, and there it is.
Ipatsu
That is a Patsu, a
dealing.
huge win. Riichi Patsu Pinfu, Dora 2, any Ura? I can't tell what it
No,
is.
Ura is a 2 character, and it's 1
Okay,
in
so
there.
the 2 is not in there. It is just a Mongon.
Yeah. Still just a Mongon, but big blow.
Well, it could have been a lot worse.
It could have. Still, East
And
1
Richard
is
is
gonna be. You're gonna feel a little bit down with that. How did? Yeah, I'm just gonna check the scores.
well. There's a 1 Han deal in East 1. That was East 2. We are in East 3 now.
Yeah. So you just came off of a 3rd place game in round 3, so looking to make up some points there.
A few pairs here for Sophie. Ooh, I like this hand. I really like this hand. Katie with a great, very flexible, callable hand. Looks like Honitsu, maybe Honitsu Toy Toy. 4 pairs up. That's another Yakuhai. 8. Well, it's a very flexible tile. Just move that forward immediately, but gives more options. The 4 does move that forward. 4 could also go Tanya now. Look at all these loose Yakuhai.
Mm.
9 comes out. The 5 connects with the 7. 4 connects with the 6. Maybe moving it more towards Tanya now. 1 pin. Interesting. Now, this hand is really awkward because of the 5-pin door. You really want it, but it doesn't fit. You have to specifically draw the Dora indicator or pair it up. Do see a call. It's the Honitsu hand. Dora draw. This is just Yishan 10 if you got the 7 Mon or the 2-so. Goes with the 2-so.
With that many floating honors that you were talking about, pretty much every time I'm going to go for either Kokshi or a flush hand. Almost every time. Because in most cases, it's just going to be too slow to win anyway. And both of those hands are quite easy to fold if you need to.
Something I feel a lot of people forget is you can even call multiple times in a hand like this, and you still have plenty of ways to fold.
Yes.
6, 6, 7, 7 Mon shape. Quite nice. Oh, 7 pair up. Could cut the 2 pin here. Could also go with one of the Monzu. It looks like the 7 Mon comes out. Oh, well, that is Ishan 10. Very wide. Would really like a 3 Mon for any Peiko. But we don't think that's coming because there are a couple locked in. Oh, there is a 7 Anko. That is now Ishan 10.
Now you
for
see
Riichi.
Peiko there.
Oh, the backfire on the 6.
Yeah, I see a Sanshoku shape here. If we can get a 5, it brings it back down 1 Shanten. But
Oh, well, there's your
That's a lot of value.
Pinfu potential upgrade. North isn't going to do anything, though. Holds a safe tile. See, this is the situation where I think a safe tile
Yes,
makes
yes,
sense.
yes,
Use a
yes.
little bit of efficiency, but not that much. You pretty much know what your blocks are. Oh, that is the perfect draw. That is Tempai. can take a Champon 7-pin 5-mon or the 6-pin Kanchan. But I think you need to throw the stick in at this point. Nope, Dama's waiting on 6-pin, no Yaku. Hatsu doesn't help here, still Ishunten.
Yeah, it's got to find a pair somewhere.
5, you can shift up, but it doesn't matter. Oh, breaking Tempai completely. There's the South call. And the Classic 2 call. Still a bit of a mess hand. 3 so. Okay, that is Tempai. This is a much better one. Riichi Pinfu Dora 1, and we'll go ahead and take the Riichi here. 1 so, 4 so gets an immediate improvement in the hand.
There's
When you
that
break
6
Tempai, that's
I
what you
was
hope
talking
to happen.
about. 4, 5, 6 on Shoku has become reality in Sophie's hand. It's just that that pesky reach is going to get in the way.
Doesn't like the 3 so, but the hand's worth quite a bit. You can kind of halfway push with the 8-mon, but throws the 3. Oh, and that would have been the sumo on the 5. This is Tempai. You can just call the Sanshku, lock it in. This is now Tanya Sanshku Dora 2, waiting on 3-mon. Or Tanya Sanshku Dora 1. Now we see a second chi.
And
This is
there
now...
comes the 3-mon.
Yep, that deals in. Tanya Sanshku Dora 1.
Not too crazy expensive, but the subs is dominating the table here.
Sophie's pretty strong. She's one of those people just fighting, going for it, and if you can get the hand, you're just going to roll.
Sophie also brings me Milky Ways when she visits Japan, so.
All right, well, it looks like a Pinfu type hand. Tuso would really help, but shapes are pretty good, actually. This hand, more of an outside. Maybe you could shift it Shanta, but I think you just play fish and see what happens. The 7-pin moves it significantly more toward just a regular Pinfu, though. Haku is the Dora. A few pairs here. Shape's not great. A lot of pairs here. Shape's not great. 3. Well, okay, we're getting pairs everywhere.
So many pairs. I think this is a hand also where I kind of just push towards a flush because the hand's so slow.
Yeah, I'd go Honitsu with that hand. You think if I get another pair up, especially in the offsuit, maybe we go Chitoitsu, but second view, it's probably more. Well, now you just go.
Yeah.
That 5 so, now you have 4 completed blocks. You have all these extra honors. The 4-7 aren't connected to anything. Dora draw here will be held for now.
And it's important to remember it's not a pushing flush. It's well, what else am I gonna do? And I can fold if I have to flush.
Well, I don't know how to get value, so I'm just going to go with the direct route.
Yes, that as well. But it's just so slow that you can't like bank it on winning. You can't be like, I gotta win this.
You're never winning the hand closed. Like
Right.
you get perfect draws, 6 of them in a row, and that's just not realistic. Speaking of 6s, the 6 so comes out, it's called, and now that was really the choke point for the hand. Everything else can now be pwned. Well, that's Ishunten for Chitoitsu. I think I like 6 so here. And yes, there it is. Penchon fill with the 1, 2, 3. That is now Ishunten. And more importantly, locks up a 1 so and a 2 so. There goes a 5, but that doesn't fit into this hand. The 2 so is dead at this point. It's not going to come out. So the Honitsu is probably stuck. Now you have an Anko. This is one of the interesting situations. I would cut 7-pin every time here. Yeah, because you can go regular hand for a possible Sun Anko, or you can keep your Chitoitsu. In the meantime, we have Tempai here. She's going to Riichi on the... Yes, there is the Riichi on the Penchon 3-mon. And when you see a Riichi and you look at this in your hand, you're like, I'm out. Another pair up, but not enough here. The problem is this hand has a Dora, so just probably going to have to fold out.
We did see
South
Katie.
isn't that scary.
We did see Katie Kwok play yesterday on the second game, which Kwok and I were commentating. There she got a positive 5.6 in a second place. The first game, I'm sorry, she got a third place, minus 9.1. The previous game, which we did not see of hers, she got plus 5.6 for second place. So she's a little bit positive here and probably looking to score as big as possible to move herself up in the rankings for the day.
Well, I'm always looking to score as big as possible.
True.
So.
I know it sounded really stupid when I said it.
All right, and this hand just has that Haku. Cannot fight. This hand is just looking for one more draw and just isn't getting it. It says, okay, I'm out. 5 so doesn't help. And this hand is a classic demonstration of why Riichi is so strong. Even if you have nothing, no one else knows that. And these hands just aren't good enough to challenge with. 6-mon. Okay, now you have a Suji on the 3. That is Tempai here, if the 5 is going to be pushed for Tempai payments. There's no Yaku. But appears to be folding out, and there is the Chi. 6-pin Anko. 1-mon isn't it? Still looking for the 3. Only one player Tempai. 9 pair up, can throw that safely. And takes one look at that and says, I don't want to throw the 1-4. So word is done. Oh, that is Tempai if it's taking. I don't mind even Chi cut 1 so. And yeah, that is how it's played. There's one of those 3s. Yeah, the 3 is now dead. Of course, you see the wall of them here.
Yeah.
Seven, I don't think's been pushed, but there is a 5 out. Yeah, just going to fold. Or at least keep the option open later. And similarly, just doesn't want to throw the Dora. This is likely going to be one player Tempai. Ishanten might be able to get that door Tonki, so the 6-mon is safe. It's come out already. But we are out of time for this hand. The wall has one more draw, I believe. And that's not it. And it is just one player Tempai. They see the garbage hand that is worth a net 2,000. The classic situation, hey, that's worth more than if I'd actually won.
Yeah, except with the reach stick, I think it's just about the same-ish.
Let's see, you get your stick back, so it's what, 23? On Sumo, it's the same as long as there's no
don't
Aura.
get your
On
stick-
Roan, you actually make a little bit more.
If it's, I think the stick goes on the table, right? You don't get it back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So
Yeah,
you get 2,000 versus 1,300 net.
Yes, a little bit more.
It's worth the same if you Sumo, because then it's 500, 1,000. And it's worth less if you Roan. Again, assuming no Aura. Or always make it better to just win.
And we're already in the south round. This game is cruising. Last game we were not able to finish. We got time called. This game, it looks
All
like
right.
we
Ooh,
might.
that looks
Everyone
like a
might get the
nice
dealership.
hand. What was the call? That's what I want to know. 8-mon fills in nicely with that Kanshan. This hand may be looking for a 79 Sanshoku.
Looks like
I
an
can't see the call.
honor tile. Yeah, it should be on the. It looked like an
We'll
honor
have to
tile.
talk to Dave
Hatsu,
about
maybe?
that.
It's just the
It looks like
the
in honor of
shoulder.
some sort.
It's the shoulder position because the other two players we can actually see the corner. The other three players we can actually see the corners. So it's
Well,
just
there's
one
a
player we
Haku
can't.
call, so that moves the hand forward. Looks like it's a Honitsu.
I think it was Hatsu that was called. It's definitely an honor tile of some sort. It looks like Hatsu.
Well, if it is Hatsu, that's 2 dragons, so that always puts everyone on at least a little bit of alert. 5, that's now Ishan 10. Not ideal with that many pairs, but hey, Ishan 10 this early is fine. East doesn't help. 8, so is a nice fill there. 6, well, that extends the shape down. Well, there goes the 1, so. 2. Interesting the 2 is cut. I think the 3 is a much more normal shape because that 22466 is such a beautiful option.
Yeah, that's another one of those shapes that you really just want to memorize and recognize when you see it. So many tiles that you can use with it. 2, 3, 5, 6 is just automatically useful.
Yeah. See, this should probably be. Okay, we'll go ahead and see the Riichi, but it's a. What is it? 2 6
3
pin?
dot, 3 dot. I think
3 pin, okay.
Yeah, because it was the 2 that was discarded and
Yeah,
should have
that's
been the
right.
3 open-ended to or 3
Right,
to lock in
then you'd have
open-ended.
the 1-4 weight, which I'd much prefer to this.
Yeah, Shabu, usually you want to have outside hands when possible. Oh, there's another one of those 5, 5, 7, 9, 9 shapes, which she held on to as long as possible until the reach came. And then Sophie's now trying to play safe. She has so many points that she can definitely afford to fold.
He doesn't have anything, but you're in third. You want to make a move. The hand just isn't cooperating. Richard's the one who's in the big squeeze, though. Because the hand is worth a ton if you can win it. It's Manga on Ishan 10. The Riichi is dealer, though. You don't want to get in too much trouble. At the same time, it's your path to first. Okay, that is Tempai. Could wait 5 pin here, throwing the 7. But this would just be the 2 Han. At least what we think is 2 Han. A pin is going to be held for now. 4 Mon doesn't really help. This is a do I want to fold out? Six. Okay, now I have the potential Suji trap on the 3. Of course, always with those Sujis on the 3s and the 7s, they're a lot less trustworthy than the others.
Yeah.
Well, it heads back to Ishan 10 now. Oh, you can con, I guess. And thinks about it for a second and says, nope.
So I think that's confirmation it was the green dragon. Cool.
Yes, based on that pause, that is my read as well. Plus the fact we haven't seen too many of those.
Yes, exactly. Do look pointy, I would say. When I was reading from that blurry and far away, I would say either north or green dragon, but we see a bunch of norths. Dora.
Yes, and it's Dora, so that definitely would have caused the table to play differently. Yeah. It just gets throwed here. Now, this hand really wants to push the 1, but isn't doing so. Is just very scared of it. Because, of course, there was that late 2 pin. So it's not a very safe tile. Oh, well, that's just Tempai. This is almost always Son Anko. The only way it's not is you roan on the detached side. Roan 3 so would not be Sonanko. Any other win is. That's also Tempai.
Yeah,
The
another
5-mon would have
Shabu.
to be pushed. At this point, it's about Tempai payments, because I think this is Hote. Yes, it is, from the wall.
Looks like I can't see if it goes around the corner, but definitely on this side of the wall.
Thinks about it, is going to throw the 5. There it is. Doesn't like it, but out it goes.
And that is a win. Sananko side.
Yeah,
Beat
Riichi, Hote,
Sananko.
Sunanko
I
should
don't
be
think it was. I
Mangan.
think. Look, I think there was one
No, there
tile
might have
there.
been
Yeah,
something where the camera is cutting it off. Okay.
yeah. So there was. It wasn't quite Hote. I don't think. So Beat Sananko should be it.
In that case, it'd be 6,400 for the win.
Yeah, it looked like there was just one tile left. So it's one before Hote.
All right, Jihi will be dealer here. Well, camera jumping around a bit, so Jihi is dealer. It is South 2.
Yeah, we're just getting used to the angles and troubleshooting a little bit still. Still only the second stream from Sparrow's Nest.
Nice little Pinfu hand there. Also a Dora with a 3-mon. Classic cut Hatsu first turn, draw it second turn. 3 connection line with a 2 here. The hand has a bunch of pairs though, so it's probably more a Chitoitsu. Might even go Toito with it though. 3 so going to get cut, holds the tune. 8 so connects with this 6. 6 so allows some more Tanyao options. Now you're thinking you'll be able to shift it to a regular hand. 2 so goes back after cut the 3 the previous turn. North is useless. 6, well, okay, we're back to pairs. Ishanten for Riichi Toitsu Tanyao. Four L is a shift down to the 5. Now you have the shape there completed. That is headless Ishanten with an Anko. Very wide. 5 pairs up, but not too much here. Still Ishanten for Chitoitsu. The 3 connection I2 with the 4-4-5. We'll go ahead and cut the 9. The problem is the rest of the hand's much slower than what we're seeing at the rest of the table. This is actually 6 block and rejects it, throwing the 2. Oh, that's a super wide tile, but throws it back. I think the 8 so is just way better to cut there.
Sophia's just been on fire this game. It's sub luck. Also skill. A lot of skill as well, but
Oh, we do see the South being called here. That is the double South for Richard. Oh, just pair up the 8 so. See, that's just it. Sophie just read the wall. And that's an Anko here, but that is not Tempai.
yeah, too many blocks for Tempai. And not quite all
Throws the 6
pairs.
so. Haku isn't going to help. 3, that's Dora. Cuts the other 6. Says, okay, well, if we get there, we'll take it, but not going to get any danger just yet. And that's just a fold. Richard's out. This is a 3-pin, 6-pin weight. And that South looks like not a hard fold, but I'm probably folding. So it feels like it's between Katie and Sophie here. Now you see he hates this draw. When you're in fourth place, you're dealer, you want to make something happen, and the hand's trying to pull you back in.
Do you play movie lines in your head when you're playing, folding, and the Al Pacino line from Godfather 3 just comes into my head.
All the time.
Just
Oh,
when I thought it
yes.
was out.
They pull me right back in. That's Tempai. Forso would have to come out, but this is Tempai.
There it goes.
And goes in and damas this. Goes 2-pin. So yes, 3-6 pin versus 5 mon 7 so. And I believe the 5 mon's dead. Yes, there they are. And a 7 so. So 3 blockers in that hand. When you have all those 6s, the 7 doesn't feel nearly as scary.
Not at all, yeah.
We are third row. One chance is definitely possible. Well, this is technically Tempai if you throw Dora.
Yeah, when it
And
comes down
he's
to
in such a rough position, may just do it, and does. There is no Yaku, did not Riichi. Figures it's late enough, save the stick.
when it comes down this late to things like one chance, it's really how much value your own hand has for going or not. And it doesn't just mean the score, it could mean tempai payments, things like that.
This is Jihi's last dealer. You can't afford to give it up.
Yeah.
Now, I would just go 1-so here because the 4's already cleared. But okay, once the Riichi, 1-so 4-mon Shampon. So we have 3 players Tempai, a couple of Shampons, and of course that Pinzu Ryanman. There's the 8. That's not a winning tile. 3-6, 5-7, and 4-1. And that's just it. 3 players Tempai. Of course, this is the other part of Tempai payments. For one, you're like, hey, I'm the only person who Riichi'd and I'm in great shape. Here, if you are the only player that's not Tempai, that hurts.
Yeah, it's a
Richard pays out
4,000 point
3,000.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
A 4,000
everyone's
point
now
difference
in range.
between every single player, not just. It's the complete opposite of a sumo. Sumo, then you make that point difference between all the other players, but you're getting positive.
Yes.
Being the only one not reach is the only way that, or not Tempai, I'm sorry, is the only way that you can make that big of a point difference and be negative to all the other players.
A whole bunch of above average hands. Even this one, once it gets rid of the honors, is okay, but we look at this one as the Peiko shape, not as Rion Peiko upgrades. This nice little Pinfu, a 3-pin and 3-mon would really help. Speaking of 3-mon, 2, 3, 4 Sanshu now, along with that Chun. 6-0 fits in nicely. That Rion Peiko dream starting to come a little bit into focus. Does need a pair somewhere, though. 3-pin, that's now Ishanten for Riichi Chun Dora, or Riichi Chun Sanshuku. It also has 2 Dora in that Rion Peiko hand. The 3 doesn't do much, so it gets tossed back. Goes and cuts the 4 figures. It's not likely to be Tanya now. And upgrades that. We see a second call here. This looks like it's a brute force Tanyao. Still has a bunch of honors to go. Oh, well, Riampeko, Tanyao, Dora 2, Ishan 10. Gets the 7 pin, the ideal draw for value in that hand.
And it is so needed right now.
Well, Katie now has the North pair, so that's the Yaku. That is a super wide Ishan 10. Loses a lot of the Riampeko likelihood, but hey, it's still there. You draw that 4 mon, you just go. Nine mon isn't it, though. 8 so isn't it either. 7 so doesn't help. 2 players in a very strong Ishan 10. And this hand looked better at the start. It just hasn't budged.
Yeah.
Oh, that is Tempai here.
That's Tempa as well.
This is also Tempai. Must win on the North. So that is Tempai here.
And Reach.
Goes ahead and takes the Riichi, but it deals in.
Sophie again.
Chu Nomi was fishing for the Sanshiku, didn't want to throw the stick in, but doesn't really matter here. Gets the win and advances the hand, which is the real goal.
Yep. Yeah, when you're that far ahead, you really just want to keep the lead, keep other people from winning big hands. You're not going for value, you're definitely going for speed.
Richard still in second place. Will be dealer here in South 3. And on the other end, that was Jihee's last dealer and the deal in there. So kind of desperate now. Has a very workable hand. A 4 pin would really help. Has some honors to get rid of, but overall decent hand. 3 so would also help. That's a much better hand though. Nice little Pinfu. This is not so great a Pinfu. And this is Ishanten. Okay then, I'll take the Ishanten hand. 8 so fills in nice with a 789. This hand has 2 Dora as well. 3 Dora. It's now headless Anko.
Yeah,
4
headless,
so
but there's a
good
lot of
floater.
places where they can make the pair in the hand. It's not.
Well, even if you end up on the Arianman with 7899, that's fine.
Yeah, there's no risk of it being some weird middle tonky weight, as with most headless hands.
3 so fills in another Penchon that gets completed. South doesn't do anything, and the hand's definitely locked in towards Tanyao. 7 connects with the 8 here, moves the hand forward. And the 2 mon is one of the few tiles that doesn't help. Oh, 4 pin, that is what that hand needed. And actually, I should take a bit to go, wait, how do I want to play this? Goes to the 2. So I think I'd have gone with a 5 mon instead, just because I have too many pairs, but it's certainly reasonable. 1 so is not it. Still stuck in that Ishan 10 with 3 Dora. And that's one of those situations. You have such a wide Ishan 10. You have all the value in the world, and you're just stuck. And the wall's saying, nope, that's not going to help. That's not going to help. And that's not going to help.
It's the opposite of Oprah. You don't get a useless tile. Or useful tile.
You get a useless tile.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah.
It's not normally the gifts you're looking for. The gift Mahjong tends to hand you, though. Now,
They are
7 could be
plentiful.
callable. You can cut the 7-8 Mon. No, cuts the 4. The problem with this call and cutting the 2-4 is you're going to be Otozuke in the Monzu with that 7-8 run. Because if you're going Tanya, you must get the 6.
I've also
Kitty
seen a
trying to
lot
move
of.
this towards Honitsu. 7 so. Cuts the 9. That means only the Sozu draws or another 8-mon will be Tempai.
We have seen more Otozuke in these games than we generally see in the Sankei Shimbun Cup. A little bit more
I
aggression.
may have been guilty of going for very reckless Otozuki. I don't know, every time I play.
We expect it from you. It's alright.
Hatsu, nice floater. A hand's a little slower, though. And yeah, okay, so the hand did call down, so with the 3 Dora, takes a much wider E-shunted open now. Oh, backfire, having cut the 8th last turn would be Tempai. Where we see the pawn of the 5s, that is Tempai 3-mon. This would be a 3-6 weight now.
Sort of. I mean, it's sort of an upgrade, but you're using so many of the winning tiles in your hand already.
Yeah, that's always the problem with that shape. I feel the play from Jihi was a frustration call because I don't think it improved the shape that much. That is not Tempai.
A little bit wider went away.
That has to be Tempai. Yeah, there it is. It is Tanyao.
Felt very went away-ish.
I think there were 4 4s in there, and it was 2 2 3 4 4 4 4 5.
Oh, I thought it was 3/4, so I saw it wrong.
Trying to decide whether the Champon or the
One of
nope,
the odd
6 with a
elements.
3-6.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
4
that is
4s.
definitely Tempai, waiting 3-6 so.
There were too many kanji to count.
Ishanten for this absolute monster. But Ishanten is not worth anything. There's Tempai. Now waiting probably 2 so 5 so. Trying to decide whether the Champon's better.
I mean, if you're worried about safety, the walls for the shampoo are a little bit better.
Yeah, and there it is, though.
Yeah.
Deals into the Dama hand here. It is just Tanyao. And surprise, surprise, Sophie wins another one.
And that means
Absolutely
we'll see.
steamrolling the table. Will be dealer here in South 4, 28,500 above second place. So a bit of a fight here for second between Katie and Richard. Less than 4,000 separating them. And Jihi just needs a big hand looking for a Mongon Sumo to try and sneak out third.
And I feel like Sophie just doesn't even really want to win the hand. Unless it's a really easy hand to win. You kind of just want to let the others battle it out or possibly end in a no-10 hand.
This is something I said about an earlier game. With the WRC rules, you really want to run up the score and you have the chance, but it's less important when you're a sub.
I mean,
Ooh, I like
when you
this
have
hand, South.
when you have the chance, but I think you also don't need to take the risk in an all last like that. If it's
Well, Sophie's also been very content to Dama, pick up your cheaper wins, and just move the game around. There's the first call. 2 fills in the 1-3-5 nicely.
Chat says Sophie bullying as per usual. Oh no, Sophie's a bully. We love Sophie.
4-pin. Well, unfortunate there. And interestingly, this means that the third 4-pin will be cut and everyone will see that. When you see 3 4-pin out, when 3-pin is Dora, you go, hey, wait a second. Means they're very likely to be Penshan or like 1-3 Kanshan shapes in other hands once that gets revealed. Possible Chanta move now. East doesn't do anything. 6-0 is a good floater. And that's often the thing with Honitsu is any tile in the suit is good because things will connect to it later.
And that's why you see a lot of. Oh, that's why you're going to know that they're pretty close to Tenpai whenever there's an extra Sozu, an extra of the suit discarded.
There you see the call there on looks like the north. Five pin is still Ishunten. And there we see the call for Tenpai. This is now waiting 9 Sotanki. Three-pin Dora Anko for Sophie. Well, you just upgrade. You could even con this. It's actually a 1-7 weight and will con. Here for the fancy play for the TV table. Doesn't hit it, though. Does, however, flip the con Dora is 9 so. So this is a Dora Tonki with the Honitsu. It's a guaranteed Mangan on win. At the same time, I don't think it's going to come out unless someone just very unfortunate after a Riichi. West goes back. 1 pin isn't it. Goes cuts the 8 pin. So 5, 5, 6, 6 in Pinzu. Not ideal. 2 pin doesn't help. South goes out. That is not Tenpai. I feel 2 so's the normal cut here. But you can go with the 6 just because you know you're never giving up on the 9. Now that it's an extra Dora. A Shunten with the 3. Could switch, but you're not switching here, are you? Off the Dora? Nah.
Just not enough value without the
That
Dora.
is Tenpai if it's called. Doesn't take it. Ooh, that's a really nice pull, though. I made you go with one of the Pinzu. Oh, throws the 6.
It's hedging that all pairs and with the Dora. The new
8
Dora.
so is definitely an I'm out. Even with 3 Dora, it's really scary. Yeah, that's a fold. He's out of this hand. Similarly, Sophie's out of the hand. Oh, well, should have switched, apparently. You figure it was better on the wall, but you just can't throw the 9 here. You just can't.
Yeah.
So it is Katie versus Jihi. Or rather, Katie versus Richard. Oh, the 6 would have come. But again, that would have come that caused the door to come out if it ever got thrown. So it is not surprisingly the 2 hands that are very close to each other in total score that are fighting this out.
And now we'll end the game. Super quick game. Very few continuances, and even then they're playing so quickly. But mostly just Sophie winning all the
Yeah, the
hands and
problem is Richard
advancing.
never made it to Tempai, so Katie overtakes on the Tempai payments. Was stuck there in
Wow.
Ishunten the entire time.
Just a 100-point difference.
So Sophie dominates. Katie escapes, though. Of course, WRC, that's going to be a positive 1.1. Richard there in third with a -9, and Jihi takes the brunt of the damage here.
And so I do have the results from the minors played. In Japan, it's already last month. It's the first year now. Still Halloween in America. Of course, the sub, Sophie, actually got first place overall for the day with plus 83.7. Just taking all those points from everyone else. Ishan got second place with plus 83.4. Mercury, who we saw, I think, in the second game yesterday, got plus 83.3. So 3 players there and just with 83 points, just hundreds of points. Difference. Very, very small differences. Fourth place is 50 points behind them. Mikihiro Ikenaga with plus 32.8. Alan, who we saw in the first game yesterday, plus 18.5. And Katie, who we just saw now, is plus 4.9. Those are all the positive players. Other players are all negative. You can also get the World Riichi League app. Check the scores yourself. And our next minors is tomorrow. Saturday.
I think we might have some live coverage for that planned.
We will. I think the plan is for Tips and Kyril to start off the commentary, and I will jump in once I'm done with my North Kanto League game and get back home. And then it will be 4 games again, just like today, or just like yesterday and today combined. But we'll do all 4 at once live, streamed from Sparrow's Nest in New York City. The USPML headquarters and also World Riichi League, I would say headquarters in the US.
That is basically the same thing. And of course, the next WRC itself will be in New York City.
We have lots of streams coming up in November, so we'll start off with that. We also have 2 Sankei Shimbun Cup sessions and the Saikyosen team battle playoffs are going to be happening in November. So lots and lots of coverage, lots of mahjong, lots of English commentary. The World Riichi Online Team League commentary will also happen. That will be in collaboration with the Japan Professional Mahjong League. So we're still waiting to see the details of exactly which games will be streamed on which channel, but there will be English commentary for that final semifinals and final table as well. So much English commentary coming up in November. Thank you everyone for joining us. I think that's it for us.
I think that's it for us. So for Kyril, Jen, this is Korak for the WRC broadcasting team. Hope to see you tomorrow for some live action at the next WRL Minor in New York City.